One thing on my dad, the last game we ever watched together before he took his life was the Super Bowl. Hello there, everyone. I just want a couple things I want to share, but I'll quickly share about the Super Bowl. I know people will be bombarded with that already. We don't need to talk too much about that, but I'll just share really quickly on that. One thing is I've been watching American football for over 20 years with my dad. It was something that my dad watched, and he was really passionate about it. And like 10 years ago, I mean, my team where I'm from in San Diego, the team was the San Diego Chargers, right? And so when I was like 10 years ago, one of my first tattoos was a San Diego. People see it on my arm. It has the lightning bolt over literally the logo of the team on my arm. And actually living in San Diego, I get more shit from that sometimes, living in San Diego than anywhere else, and mainly because they moved to Los Angeles. So it's one of those things that's kind of interesting. However, that also, in terms of the Chiefs playing this week, today or whatever, that's their main rival. You know what I mean? Like their number one rival, you know what I mean, in terms of that. And the way it goes in American football and some sports is you kind of genuinely hate the other team, you know what I mean. That's one of the negative things about those type of sports, is it fuels this hate and this vitriol, you know. And one of the things I don't like, I don't really hate them, you know what I mean, but we're like taught, you know what I mean, to dislike them, right? And I mean, it goes into like everything about them, you know. It's like Taylor Swift. Well, don't like Taylor Swift because that's their team, you know. All these sort of things, you know what I mean. It goes into that. But I did want to say something that I do like about one of the things that I think I really, really like about the sport that really resonates with me, and you hear Leslie Zann talk about it all the time, is the teamwork. And I believe there's a lot of sports out there, but I believe American football specifically is one of the ultimate team sports, because literally every single person needs to be on the exact same page and working exactly together and know exactly the same play and plan. And it's very specific and very coordinated and kind of almost like a choreographed dance, you know, so to speak. But the teamwork part, we could learn a lot, and I learned a lot about the teamwork, and I like to implement that into what I learn here. I like to take the good things, even the working to an extreme level where you get to a high success level and you have to work really hard on your body and discipline and the mindset and all the work ethic. There's a lot that you can learn from there. So I like taking the good things from the sport and just disregarding the negative. And that's also how I look at a lot of things now. I used to look at one thing and take like a lot of it in, or whatever it in, and but sometimes focus on only the negative parts of it, versus like looking at the whole and say, well, what are the good things that maybe I could take from it? And that's just something that I've learned over time. And one thing on my dad, the last game we ever watched together before he took his life was the Super Bowl. And I remember that like yesterday, watching that with him and how his reactions were during that game and everything. And but anyways, so that I always remember it. And even to this day, where I live right now, I live in San Diego. Literally across the street from me is the old stadium where they used to play. I live in the closest apartment possible to that stadium, just coincidentally, to the old stadium. They took it down, and now the stadium is for the college team that's nearby, and they have events there. You know, like how stadiums do concerts and stuff like that. So sometimes they get like crazy traffic nearby because like everyone leaving the concert or event.